أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم عن أعدائهم. قال الله تعالى في محكم كتابه الكريم: ومن الناس من يشتري لهو الحديث ليضل عن سبيل الله بغير علم ويتخذها هزوا أولئك لهم عذاب مهين. Yesterday we briefly spoke about lahu al-hadith and what it means. One of the concepts that falls under lahu al-hadith is music, or what we call ghina. And it is one of the problems that we are facing day in and day out. We get to hear it in school, shopping centers, in our houses, unfortunately, TVs, movies, and so on. We get to see that music is always with us wherever we go. Before we speak about music itself, let's understand where did the music come from. According to a hadith from one of the infallibles, عليهم السلام, he states that after Qabil managed to kill his brother Habib, the shaitan came to him and he said to him, let us celebrate what you've done, what you have accomplished by killing your brother. So he asked him, so how do we celebrate? He said, not a problem, I'll take care of it. So the shaitan, he created instruments that if he hit one with the other, they will make a musical note. It seemed like a good idea for Qabil, and then they started dancing and doing their own thing. But from then, the shaitan has used that tool to control the minds of the human beings, which is me and you. When the shaitan came up with this musical instruments, he had one thing in his mind, is how he can get me and you from thinking about God, or stop thinking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That was the aim. Because when you have lahu, it means you are forgetting something else and you are concentrating on only one thing. So that was the aim of the shaitan, and that still continues today. Now there's a very thorough study that's been done scientifically, and not the Muslim done it, someone else done it. And that study talks about the effects of music when it comes to the human being physically and mentally. I will briefly give you the summary of this study. They said that the body, the human being body, the system, there's the blood system, there is a device, like sort of say, that pumps blood to the body. Depends on how the body feels. Either a big amount of blood gets pumped to the body or less amount. When big amounts gets pumped to the body, the human will start to react differently. We see that in, for example, the army. They use this tactics where they put some certain music, for example, they use rock and roll with very loud speakers. That usually affects the mind of the soldiers, that when they go to the field, they're not thinking about humanity anymore. They just want to kill. That was the aim. If you play a slower music, or what we call classical music, it brings the human being down. It calms him down. To the stage, it puts him in depression. And this is one of the major problems that we are facing today. So, it depends on how the body feels. They use music to control the human being. Now, for me and you, the music industry obviously is working very hard to control me and you, especially in Western countries, where mainly you get to hear music and nothing else. With music, the mind becomes occupied on about what you are listening to. So if the singer or the musician or the artist, he's talking about love, usually your emotion will be about love. If it's about something else, in the same manner. Or these days we have rap, and rap, the idea of rap is just to get the mind just thinking about killing or doing all things which are inhuman and immoral. So that's the aim. When it comes to us as Muslims, we need to pay attention that music, the main idea of music, is to get me and you not to think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's a problem. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, He tells us that anyone that does not think about me, or anyone that does not make me the core of his life, then I will make a life for him, in our words, a living hell. I will make it so tight that everything becomes bad to him. So we need to understand that we need to put a limit when it comes to music. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, when He talks about the verse that we mentioned before, there are people who are willingly go and buy يشتري له الحديث. People go buy CDs, buy MP3s, or they download them on their computer, so they pay for them at the end of the day. You pay for something to misguide you. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to stay away from. Now the Ahlul Bayt salamullah alayhim, in many ahadith, they told us that we should avoid listening to music. In a very disturbing hadith from Amir al-Mu'mineen salamullah alayhi, that hadith I've heard it when I was at a young age, that really made me think twice. Amir al-Mu'mineen salamullah alayhi, he says, if you want to listen to music, by all means, do so. But imagine this, every time you listen to music, you are doing this. You're taking your hand and you're slapping Amir al-Mu'mineen on the face. That itself shocked me to see that every time I have to listen to music, I'm hitting Amir al-Mu'mineen. I can't do that. So the Ahlul Bayt salamullah alayhim, they put a great emphasis on listening to music because of the effect that it will lead. One of the ideas and the aims of music these days is they try to spread corruption in a great scale without having to go to war. We have the theory that says divide and conquer. So sometimes you take your armies, you invade another country, and you take over. Like what England done when they invaded Africa. They changed their textbooks, their language, their religion, everything. But these days they said, well, we can't do that. That costs a lot. So what do? Let's put the music into play. Let's send us musicians, artists. They will do the job for us. Where you're sitting in your home and you're being brainwashed without you realizing. And this is a very dangerous thing. So one of the aims they try to spread is they try to corrupt people morally. Kids these days, or youth these days, their main source when it comes to learning foul language and swearing is from music, unfortunately. When you listen to rappers, and the black rappers or even white ones these days, their main aim is just to swear as much as they can in their songs. And the kids who listen to them, they start to observe this language, and then when they go, they say what they've learned. So this is one of the aims, to spread corruption in a larger scale. Another thing that they do is they're trying to get people to do all that which is what we call haram or forbidden or sins. There are a lot of music that talks about what we call unforbidden love. It's okay to go and have relationships with as many people as you want, and do as you like, enjoy yourself, have fun. So this is also spreading corruption to the people without us realizing. And the list goes on and on. But one of the aims of the shaitan when it comes to music is what we call a ghafla, to be unaware. And to be unaware is the biggest problem that we are facing these days. I listen to music unwillingly, without me realizing that. But what's happening is that I'm not remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anymore. So when it comes to the haram, when it comes to things I should not be seeing, things I should not be saying, I seem to forget because my mind is already corrupted, my mind is already polluted, then it's easier for me to commit the haram. And this is what we see our youth today doing. Unfortunately, most of our youth today, they're doing drugs, they're doing all the wrong things because the music has affected them either directly or indirectly. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants a human being to reach perfection. And that perfection cannot be reached unless a person moves towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Only then, me and you can reach our perfection. And perfection cannot be reached if we are not aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. According to the ahadith of the Ahlul Salamullah alayhim, and a specific hadith from Imam al-Qadim Salamullah alayhi, he states that if you listen to a person, then you have worshipped him. If a person listens to a person giving a lecture, for example, and talking about God, then you have worshipped God. If you listen to a musician, which his job and his main aim is to support satanic ideas and support the shaitan and his methods and his people, then you have worshipped the shaitan according to the imam. So you could either worship God or the shaitan depending on who you are listening to. Now the verse, which is verse 7 in Surah Luqman, that one comes follows. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأَتُتْلَى عَلَيْهِ آيَاتَنَا وَلَّى مُسْتَكْبِرًا كَأَن لَمْ يَسْمَعْهَا كَأَنَّ فِي أُذُنَيْهِ وَقْرًا فَبَشِّرْهُ بِعَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ. Waqr in Arabic means something that is very heavy, that becomes so heavy to you that you don't want to listen to it anymore. The effects of the music, the people who listen to music day in and day out, what happens to them without realizing that when it comes to God and when it comes to the Quran, they say, well, maybe later, I can't be bothered. How many times do we go in the car, put the Quran, and you see people around you going, could you change it? Could you put in a sheet, for example, put something which is halal, if there is such a thing? So the Quran becomes very heavy for us to listen to, especially if you have to listen to for 5-6 hours in a row. It's quite impossible. I remember one of my teachers, he said he got in a taxi in one of the Islamic countries, and he said to the driver, try away from music. He said to him, why don't you put the Quran instead? And the guy said to him, well, it's not a Fatiha, why should I put the Quran? No one died. So this is, the Quran became just a place where we have to play it if someone is dead. Otherwise, the Quran does not work in our life. So we listen to music and the effects are deadly. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the words of Allah and the Ahlul Bayt become very heavy for us to talk, to listen to and digest. And this is a problem we have to stay away from as much as we can. So I'm not saying you have to listen to the Quran every day for 2-3 hours. Maybe 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, and increase on that, and then you'll have the opposite effect to that of the music. Inshallah, with this I conclude. We might continue in nights to come, inshallah. والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.